In the last class, we discussed the Colrosh law and its application. Just a reminder of it, or just a revision of it. What is the Colrosh law? The Colrosh law states that at infinite dilution, when the dissociation is complete, each and every ion which will come in a solution will have a definite contribution toward the molar conductivity, independent of the presence of the other ion. Now, since its contribution is independent of the presence of the other ion, that's why it is known as the law of independent migration of ions. The Colrosh law is also known as law of independent migration of ion, as the migration of ion, that is the movement of ion under the influence of the electric current, is independent of the presence of the other ion in the solution. Now let's do the numerical, which is based on the application of the Colrosh law. Now the application of Colrosh law was, it helps to determine the molar conductivity at infinite dilution, also known as limiting molar conductivity of the weak electrolyte. It helps to determine the degree of dissociation as well as the dissociation constant of an electrolyte. Now just have a look on the numerical here. So here is the numerical. The conductivity of a 0.01 M solution of acetic acid at 298 Kelvin is 1.65 into 10 raised to power minus 4 Simon centimeter inverse. We have to calculate the molar conductivity, degree of dissociation and dissociation constant, right? And what is given to us? The ionic molar conductance at infinite dilution for H plus ion is given 349.1, and the ionic molar conductance at infinite dilution for acetate ion is given 40.9 Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Now in this numerical, we are given the concentration of the solution. C is given to us, right? And conductivity is 1.65 into 10 raised to power minus 4. That is, kappa is known to us. Now to find out the molar conductivity, we know that lambda m equals to kappa into 1000 upon C. We should know the value of conductivity and the concentration, and both values are given to us. So we will simply put the values here and we will get the answer. This lambda m equals to kappa value is 1.65 into 10 raised to power minus 4 into 1000 upon the concentration which is given to us is 0.01. So hence on calculation you will get lambda m equals to 16.5 Simon centimeter square mole inverse, right? Now the second part of the question is to determine the degree of dissociation, that is the extent to which the electrolyte undergoes the dissociation. Now we know that from the Colrosh law, right, alpha is equal to lambda, that is the molar conductivity at any concentration, this is lambda C upon lambda naught m, or just simply lambda naught, which is limiting molar conductivity or molar conductivity at infinite dilution. Now here at any concentration, now here the concentration was 0.01 m. For it we have determined here the molar conductance. It is 16.5 Simon centimeter square mole inverse. So student, here for this alpha, this is known to us and we have to find out this lambda naught m. And now this can be calculated with the help of the Colrosh law. Again, since acetic acid is a weak electrolyte here, right? Now on ionization or dissociation is going to give acetate ion and H plus ion, and the molar conductance or the ionic molar conductance of these ions are given to us. You will write down just from the Colrosh law, lambda naught acetic acid equals to lambda naught CH3CO negative plus lambda naught H plus, just putting the value Simon centimeter square mole inverse, we will get 390 Simon centimeter square mole inverse on solving it. From here we will determine the alpha by putting the value lambda m at any concentration upon lambda naught m. 16.5 upon 390.5 we get 0.0423. Now students, we will calculate the dissociation constant, right? Now we know that acetic acid, when it will ionize, it will undergo formation of acetate ion and H plus ion. This will be in the state of equilibrium, right? So if we consider the initial concentration to be C moles per liter. That time the acetate ion and the hydrogen ion, as they are not formed initially, so it is 0 and 0 here. Now the final concentration, that is when alpha part has undergone dissociation, or we can say the acetic acid has undergone dissociation, right? That time if it is 1 mole, so alpha part has undergone dissociation. So if it for 1 mole it will be 1 minus alpha, right? Then for C mole it will be C1 minus alpha. So that time here the acetate ion and hydrogen ion form will be C alpha and C alpha. So the dissociation constant is going to be equal to acetate ion concentration, right, and the hydrogen ion concentration. This is the concentration of acetate ion, concentration of H plus upon concentration of CH3COH, right? That is from the law of chemical equilibrium. We are just finding out the K, the dissociation constant of this acid, weak acid. So this is C alpha. Here also it will be C alpha. So it will become how much? C square alpha square upon acetic acid concentration is C1 minus alpha. K equal to C cancel, we get C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. After that K equals to, what is the concentration? It is 0.01. And what is alpha? We have just calculated out, that is alpha equals to here lambda naught n, and what we got from here is 0.0423. So we are just putting it here, and this is alpha square, so getting square upon 1 minus alpha, that is 1 minus 0.0423. So on solving these values, we will get K equals to 1.87 to 10 raised to power minus 5. So this will be dissociation constant for the acetic acid.